RAFAEL Fiziev talks about his return to the octagon and potentially facing Dustin Poirier next. One of the most exciting strikers in the lightweight division, Rafa has been out of action since September of last year, with a knee injury that he sustained in the fight with Mateusz Gamrot being the primary reason for the long layoff. Over the past weeks, Fiziev has been active on social media, teasing his comeback fight, which, according to him, will take place soon. His next fight does hold high stakes though, as Ataman is coming off 2 losses in a row, and a win here is necessary if he wants to stay on course of a path that can lead him for an opportunity to challenge for the championship. A loss, in the best case scenario, would significantly delay that potential from actualizing, and in the worst case, end it. Rafa realizes this, so he's looking for a high-caliber fight with a big name in the division to get an impressive win over him and re-inject himself into the discussion of likely elite prospects. In the latest interview, Rafa talked about possibly facing Dustin Poirier next.
I don't know, yeah, many people talking something about Dustin, like I see some on the internet, but it's good if fight Dustin, it's of course it's good. He's a legend, he's a former champion. Yeah, for me it's like a miracle if I fight with Dustin. But I'm not sure with this. It doesn't look like I fight with Gage. For sure, I'm changed something with my game plan and with my mental. Yeah, for sure, this one first. Other one, but I think doesn't matter who fight against Dustin. It's always the good fight because it's like this guy. He like to show the show for people, and if I go to fight him, if it's happened, yeah. It's for sure. It's like fireworks, blood, maybe some knockout.
Michael Bisping and Paul Felder preview PROCHAZKA versus Jamal Hill, a clash between 2 light heavyweight contenders that will take place on UFC 311. Both of these former champions, who are among the most dynamic strikers in the division, got knocked out by Alex Pereira in their last fights. They have also promised fans that we will see a new version of them inside the octagon, and their hunt to recapture gold continues by vicious pursuit. Something else they have in common is sort of a strange attitude toward Alex Pereira. And while it's understandable not to feel particularly great about someone that put them out and took away their title in front of the world, it's a bit more interesting than that in their case. Yuri, on one hand, has stated he doesn't appreciate Alex using the help of spirits to defeat opponents, as he believes Alex used his traditional shamanic rituals to use spirits which help him win fights. Hill, on the other, tried to dismiss his loss against Pereira and has adopted a specifically antagonistic attitude toward him. In part, these two will fight for a chance to get another crack at their arch nemesis. Bisping and Felder share thoughts on the fight.
I don't even think PROCHAZKA knows what the hell he's going to throw out there half the time when he's in the octagon. And anytime you're fighting a guy like that, it's scary. You don't know what the hell's coming your way. But I think just as far as skill for skill, I think as long as Jamal can just watch the craziness, I think that's a fight where he can have a really exceptional knockout on the night.
Yeah, when you look at Yuri, I love the way the guy fights. Yeah, it is a little reckless. Yes, in the past I've maybe talked about he carries his chin high and stuff like that, but that's like his martial arts style. Like a real boxing style, you tuck your chin and all the rest of it. Martial arts are kind of like this. He's a true throwback movie style martial artist, traditional martial artist, samurai and all that type of stuff. But the man's violent as hell.
He's crazy,
30
man.
wins, 26 knockouts, hits like a truck, ridiculous power. You don't know what's going to come at you. Spinning elbows, head kicks, all kinds of stuff. He's one of my favorite characters.
Merab gets injured after a strange encounter with a fan in his gym. On his visit to Georgia, the bantamweight champion went on a podcast called The Men's Show. And when speaking about reception from people in Georgia on this visit and what he's been up to while being there, he revealed that an incident occurred while he was training at a gym there that resulted in a shoulder injury and might take him out of competition for a long time now. The top of the bantamweight division looks interesting at the moment, with significant amount of uncertainty in regards to the next title challenger. It seems that Umar Nurmagomedov is UFC's preferred next fight for Merab, but the champion has been clear that he would prefer to rematch Sean O'Malley or Peter Yan. Anyway, Merab's next title defense now very well might have to be significantly delayed due to him suffering an injury after a crazy fan ambushes him during a sparring session. When the host asked him whether he still works out while he is visiting Georgia, This is what Merab revealed about the incident and potential implications of it. Quote, "Yes, I worked out every day, mostly light stuff. I visited a lot of different gyms here. As you know, everyone wants me to hold some kind of open seminar at their place and stuff, so I wanted to get to every place. The other day though, I was at this gym running a session, and at the end, we had sparring sessions. I did it in a format where I spar for multiple rounds, and each round, a fresh opponent gets in with me. Sparrings weren't too light, but not hard at all. I was being cautious. So, I did about 4 rounds with 4 different fresh opponents. While I was getting ready to do the final round of sparring with another fresh opponent, I saw this big guy come out of nowhere, almost like he was waiting for his chance to creep up on me. He had to weigh about 20 kilograms heavier than me, so he jumps in. He isn't there just to light spar and learn something. He's trying to hurt me, to have a story to tell later. And this is the 5th sparring for me, and the guy is fresh. He caught me off guard, just rushed me, swinging crazy. I grabbed him and threw him over my shoulder and landed really bad on my shoulder. So, out of nowhere, I got injured. I'm getting a scan later, and I hope this doesn't take me out for a long time, but they say shoulder injuries can take up to a year to fully heal, so I really hope that's not the case." End quote. Kamaru Usman gives valuable advice to Bo Nickal, who has seen a switch in attitude toward him from the fans, following his last fight against Paul Craig. Despite having accumulated a 4-fight winning streak, it seems that his decision win over the Scotsman on UFC 309 made a portion of fans run out of patience as it relates to viewing the elite wrestler turned MMA fighter as an elite prospect who delivers worthy action, and having high hopes for him to turn into the American version of Khamzat Chimaev. People in attendance didn't take long to chant and call him overrated, while the fight was still going on, as they didn't get to see anything really exciting until the last seconds of the fight. Bo was bothered by this, and speaking with Kamaru and Henry on their podcast, he received advice on how to deal with such things.
Well, I want you to understand something here. It's because they have high expectations of you.
Yeah,
So you have to
what?
take that in.
But you know what? I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here. I personally feel, and again, I've said this on Pound for Pound. I think you should lay into the hillside. I think you should play the hill. I mean, if dudes,
But Henry, not everybody's
dudes-
like that.
But if you play with it, if you're able to have fun with it, then you're good. I think, and I talk about this all the time. I think if you're something that Vince McMahon, the probably the greatest promoter of all time, if you think about it, the WWE, acting. But there's one thing that he always said that really changed. He says, as long as you make people emotionally, if you can
Invested,
affect them, emotionally invested, you're good. You're doing your job.